Long before the first drop of rain ever fell, the heavens were already looking down at Earth in horror. Heavenly guardians were actively deserting their stations. The Book of Enoch documents the exact moment of this breach. A group of 200 angels, known as the Watchers, intentionally left their heavenly domain and touched down on the peak of Mount Hermon. They brought with them a payload of forbidden knowledge. The Watchers taught humans how to extract metals from the earth to forge swords and armor. They introduced alchemy, cosmetics, and the occult sciences of astrology and magic. This influx of technology triggered an artificial, massive surge in power. Societies that once used stone tools were suddenly forging complex metals and constructing fortified cities. To those living through it, this looked like divine progress. But by accepting these gifts, humanity had normalized a breach of cosmic law, inviting a power into the world that they were never meant to manage. The Watchers crossed the final boundary when they took human women as wives. The offspring of these unnatural unions were the Nephilim. These were towering, ravenous giants, a hybrid species that defied the laws of creation and had no rightful place on Earth. As the glowing Watcher strand merges with the human helix, it begins to aggressively overwrite the original code. The human genome was being replaced by a permanent alien sequence. This corrupted hybrid DNA spread through the population. As the Nephilim multiplied, the original, uncorrupted human bloodline was pushed toward the edge of extinction. The core of our species was changing. Humans were mutating into an unrecognizable apex predator, drifting further from the creatures they were meant to be. The Nephilim required a staggering amount of calories to survive. They rapidly exhausted the Earth's agricultural output and devoured the planet's natural resources, leaving completely dead wastelands in their wake. According to 1st Enoch, when the crops failed and the resources dried up, the giants turned on the animal kingdom. When that was exhausted, they began to slaughter and cannibalize humans. The sheer volume of bloodshed caused the earth itself to cry out. 4 archangels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, witnessed the agony from heaven and petitions the throne for immediate intervention. God's divine verdict was swift and absolute. The fallen Watchers were to be chained in total darkness. As for the surface of the earth, it would face a complete purge through a global flood. The Great Flood served a highly specific purpose. It was a surgical quarantine protocol enacted to sterilize a terminally infected planet. This brings up the central mystery of the narrative. Out of millions of people on Earth, exactly one man and his family were selected to survive. Genesis 6:9 states that Noah was blameless in his generations.
The original Hebrew word for blameless is often used to describe unblemished animal sacrifices, pointing to a physical, ancestral pedigree. This identifies the true reason for his selection. Noah was genetically uncorrupted. His family carried the last remnants of original human DNA, untouched by Watcher hybridization. The Ark functioned as a sealed biological vault, protecting the pure human genome, while the waters neutralized the infected Nephilim. By isolating Noah, the original human blueprint survived the purge. The timeline of humanity was allowed to continue. Eventually, the skies cleared, and the waters receded. The physical bodies of the Nephilim rotted in the mud, and the world appeared sterilized. This is a page from an ancient Ge'ez manuscript of 1 Enoch. It documents a terrifying theological reality. The flood only solved half the problem. Because the Nephilim were born of angels, their spirits were immortal. When their hybrid bodies drowned, those spirits remained. They became disembodied, evil entities permanently trapped on Earth, the origin of demons, and the physical threat surfaced again. Later biblical texts record the return of giant tribes, like the Anakim and Goliath, suggesting the genetic infection somehow breached the quarantine. The Great Flood marked the first major attempt to sanitize the earth, yet the presence of a lingering pathogen meant the battle was only beginning.